Welcome back to Aim Small. Thank you for tuning in today. So today I've got something different in mind. So everybody's going high power, high power, high power, run it at 1,000 feet per second. Today I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to see at what is the lowest speed you can actually shoot a slug. And for that experiment I've got my FX Impact Mark II here, but the difference is this is the pellet liner. There's no fancy gadgets. This is the standard stock factory FX Impact Mark II. Rig is around about 90 bar. It shoots 18 grain pellets at around about 920 feet per second. So the moment I put any type of slug into this baby, it is going to drop like you won't believe. So on the cards today, first and foremost, I'm going to test the Unknown Slugs in 22 grain. Yes, you heard that right, 22 grain. Have a look at the results. If there's any type of grouping out of that, I'm going to try and launch some H&Ns in 21 grain and also some FX hybrids in 22 grain as well. So let's hope and pray this baby groups. If this one groups at the slower speeds, I'll test the others as well with the same gun, same setup, same circumstances to see if they will group out of a slower gun as well. And the reasoning behind this is quite simple. Most people can't afford one of these high power guns, and with all due respect people, it takes a heck of a lot of time to tune a gun into the slug that you want to shoot, and it's not the other way around. You don't choose a slug for your gun, you choose a gun for your slug, believe it or not. So this is the one nice thing about the Impact that I must give Ferguson and the guys there up in Sweden, wherever they are, some credit for, is that they've built a gun that you actually can change quite easily. And that I think is probably the biggest selling point of the FX. It's not the barrel swap capability or the liner capability, it's the fine adjustments that you can make with the gun. So even though this is an Impact Mark II, I can fine tune this gun and I can tweak it slightly, because some slugs are so sensitive to speed. Even a 5 foot per second difference in speed makes an enormous impact on your grouping out there, pardon the pun, impact. Alright, so without too much further ado, this is what I'm going to do. I'm a rhyme it and I don't even know it. Okay, so today I'm going to reverse the whole scenario. I'm going to start shooting off maximum power on this one, and then I'm going to start lowering my power wheel all the way down to power setting 1 and see at what speeds and if they group at all. So let's hope and pray that these 22 grainers group at a slower speed, because that will allow me to test the others. If the 22 grainers don't want to group at all, I'm not going to waste my time and lead with these guys. I'd rather shoot them at a higher speed. Let's go for it. Let's start with this. Unknown Slugs, 6 different speeds, starting at the maximum, 5 shots per target. Oh wow, that looks promising. 830 feet per second. Alright, let's go down a bit more. Now that's truly impressive for slow speed. I absolutely like it. 750 feet per second with a 22 grain sluggy. Man, I can cover that with my pinky nail. Alright, let's go lower. Can't believe it. Can't believe the grouping at such a slow speed. Let's go to power setting 1. I can't believe it, people. These Unknown Slugs at 665 feet per second is touching each other on the target. I'll measure that for you guys because I need to, because I am so surprised. At such a slow speed, these 22 grainers performed excellent. What they're going to do on the longer ranges, I don't know, because they start to lose a lot of speed by the time they get to the target, but they keep more speed than a pellet. So it still makes sense to rather shoot a 22 grain slug than a pellet if you're looking for BC. But the wind is going to push them, that's for sure, but not as much as a pellet. So for hunting purposes, going longer than 50 meters, this might be a good option. Let's go measure.
Before we measure, I will just show you this irritating thing. The new magazines of FX aren't as smooth as the old ones, and this really irritated me, especially with the smaller slugs. With no less than 4 of the groupings under 10 millimeters at such a slow speed with slugs, I'm really impressed, and I can truly vouch for this. This is amazing. I did not expect to see these results, so I'm flabbergasted. I'm out of words. For a big mouth like me, I'm truly speechless. Well, I've got some more to do. Let's go and test those FXs, and let's go and test those H&Ns, and let's see what they do.
What you guys didn't see in between target changes and all of that is that I actually shoot a half a mag of slugs in between my videos, just to make sure that the barrel is lined with the new slug, whatever lubricant they've got on, whatever type of lead they use in that scenario. So in between, when I change slug or pellets, I shoot a half a magazine just to get the barrel warmed up for them. Let's go with the hybrids. This is the FX hybrid slugs. Let's do this. Alright, that didn't nearly group as good as the Unknown Slugs. But what I did see is that they were extremely slow compared to the Unknown Slugs. So that might be the type of lead used, the type of lubricant used in the manufacturing process. There can be a lot of reasons for that difference in speed. But the one thing that concerned me about the hybrids, and I hope it doesn't happen at high speed, is that it actually spirals. So I could see with the eye, specifically on the slower speeds, that it actually spirals before it hits the target. Oh well, time to go, and I'm not going to measure that. I'm just going to give you guys the results, and then I'm going to go on to the H&Ns.
The FX hybrids didn't group that bad, but there was nothing spectacular with only one group under 10 millimeters, and that was at 763 feet per second. As I said before, the fact that it spirals in the air is a bit worrying. I don't know if these slugs will survive at lower speed. But I've got one more to go. That's the H&Ns.
Right, time to give the H&N 21 grainers a go. I have high expectations of these sluggies because I know their bigger brothers are super accurate. Let's have a look. I was right, the H&Ns didn't disappoint. I think that's going to be a very close call on slow speed between the H&Ns and the Unknown Sluggies. One interesting thing is that the H&Ns were faster out of the barrel. Obviously a 21 grainer, they should be a little bit faster and a little bit more stable. At the slower speed, around about 695 feet per second versus 600 from the hybrids versus 665 from the Unknown. So quite a difference in speed, and that will have an impact on the target as well and your accuracy in that regard. And that's what this test is all about. It's all about who can shoot the most accurate at the slowest speed. So one up for the H&N, and I think the Unknown Slugs didn't do too bad either. Let's go and measure up, give you guys the results of that, and then let's go for the opposite corner of this. Let's see how fast I can shoot those 22 grain Unknown Slugs.
Well done once again, H&N. But unfortunately, you'll meet your match today. Yes, the Unknown Slugs did pip you. Only by 2 targets under 10 millimeter, which was extremely close call as the H&Ns was at 11 and 11.25. But some excellent grouping by the H&Ns, and they never disappoint me. So, this is going to be an interesting one. Let's see what those 22 grainers Unknowns is going to do when I really crack the whip on them.
Alright, so it warmed up a little bit today. Nice and sunny out there. It was nice and gloomy this morning with a bit of rain here in Cape Town. So now, because I'm hot, the gun is hot, I hope the slugs are going to be hot as well. So these are the Unknown Slugs in 22 caliber. I'm going to shoot them out of my cannon. Now for those guys not used to my YouTube videos, this is a very pumped up smooth Twist X old setup. It's got the heavy superior liner in, 700mm. It's got a pin probe, dual flow, power plenum, you name it. It's got the power kit installed, everything. This one usually sends slugs, 30 grainers at 975 feet per second. So I'm going to try and shoot to 22 little grain sluggies, and I'm going to start off on my minimum setting, and I'll give you the crony readings as we go along. If it makes too much of a noise, I'll probably stop eventually, but let's see. The manufacturer said these slugs aren't that stable above 1,000 feet per second. I'm going to test that theory today. Let's see what happens. Right, let's go. So I shot 1 or 2 warm-up shots. The gun is running nice and high, running at 940 feet per second. That's on the minimum setting. Yep, the manufacturer was right about the 940 mark. Unbelievable grouping. 30 meters, 940 feet per second average. Let's pump it up a little bit. One more. Wow, they hit hard. 1,040 feet a second. Wow. Alright, point proven. I'm not going to take them any further. That was at 1,070 feet per second. And I think the manufacturer was a little bit modest. They still grouped well, even at 1,070. So, having a look at that, the Unknown Slugs can be shot anywhere from 670 feet a second all the way to 1,070 feet a second. Now that's a nice decent spread. Obviously at 1,070 they crack like a whoop out of this gun, but the accuracy is there. Let's go measure up, give you guys the final results, and let's go big or go home.
So the best grouping of the whole day belonged to the Unknown Slugs at 938 feet per second with a 4.5mm center to center measurement. Even at 970 it was about at 9.6mm, which is still fabulous. It slightly opened up the 1000 and beyond, but at that speed a 13mm grouping at 1070 feet per second or 56 foot-pound energy, I can live with that. Come on guys, can't you?
I hope you had as much fun watching this as I had making it. I was unbelievably surprised at the slow speeds that slugs can actually travel. Everybody shoots them at 950 feet per second, and then I shot them out of totally different barrels. And I must add that all of the slugs I shot today are all the .217 variants. I didn't shoot any bigger or any smaller in that regard. The Canon loves the 218s as well. The previous gun, the first gun I shot at with, that was a pellet liner, people, not even a slug liner. That was a pellet liner, and these slugs just love them. What they're going to do in other barrels, I can't tell you, but one thing that I've learned in the recent weeks and months is that the twist rate of the barrel plays a massive role when it comes to slugs, specifically the lighter weight slugs. I did some serious testing with 177 slugs and found out that my twist rate wasn't fast enough, and that was the reason I could not get the H&N sluggies to group the 177s. So I'm still at this stage looking for a barrel for the 177 that I can modify. If there's any manufacturers out there that would love to sponsor me a barrel, I'm looking for a 14mm diameter with a twist rate of 1 to 15 or faster. Please, if anybody out there can supply me with a 14mm diameter barrel with a twist rate of 1 to 15, I would really appreciate that, because then I can do the slug testing in the 177 as well. At this stage I'm a little bit screwed, sorry, pardon the word there, because all my competition guns are set up to shoot sub 12 foot-pound, and with all due respect, the sluggies don't like that slower speed, and the twist rate is not right in those guns either. So from this side on, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. See you guys in the next one.
That's all, folks.